Hey everybody, for this Super Sweet Sunday video, since it's like 2 days before Halloween, I was like, oh, I need to do something Halloween themed. So I was like, there's this great game, Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I mean, it's 2-player co-op, so I could get someone else in on it. It's lots of fun, it's a cult classic, it's got great sense of humor, good art style. It's very, very difficult, but, you know, if you plan everything out, it's pretty good. Or, I could play Batman the video game, because, you know, bats have to do with Halloweens, right? And it's based on the 1989 movie by the same name, Batman the video game instead of Batman the movie. It's made by Sunsoft, though, and I don't know about Sunsoft. But even though I want to do Zombies Ate My Neighbors and not Batman, somebody requested Batman, so gotta do Batman. Oh, so we get to start off with a little cutscene of the Batmobile, and Batman gets out, and I guess he's going to kick some butt. I guess this is some kind of street sequence. So this is a game from 1989. It's based on Batman the movie, and it has a lot of the same problems as platforming games of the time did, such as Mega Man. For example, if you go backward from the scene, all of the enemies respawn again, which can be super annoying, especially if you're in a difficult part of the level and you need to step back a couple steps. All of a sudden then Batman's going to be in trouble because now there's 2 of the guys on the screen or 3 of the guys on the screen. You're going to be overwhelmed. In Mega Man, the health tends to come a little more frequently, but in this game it doesn't tend to come as frequently. Now, for guys like this, where you're like, alright, you know you're going to get destroyed by this guy that's shooting some kind of, like, I guess poisonous gas at you, you can press start to cycle through the batarang, or the gun, or the, I guess these are bat stars. I'm not sure if these were a thing in the actual Batman or not. The thing that really bothers me about the amount that you can get of these is not that they're tied to drops, but if I throw a batarang and get it back, the batarang, you don't have it anymore. It goes from 37 to 38, or from 38 to 37, and then you catch it and you don't go back up to 38. I can understand that with the gun and the stars, because as you can see with the gun here, you shoot it and it goes, but instead of counting as 1, it counts as 2 shots because it's more effective. And the stars count as 3 shots, but they're no stronger than anything else, they just are different. The drops are somewhat frequent. The enemies drop a couple different things, like this B thing. I know B stands for Batman, but I don't know what really B stands for because I've collected 40 of these just playing through a few minutes ago, and I have no idea what they do. Are they for your score? And if they are for your score, do you get extra lives when you score? It doesn't really say. The yellow heart, there's yellow hearts and purple hearts. Not sure the difference between those either. They are for life, but they don't really spawn very often. And then the little missiles, you get 10 more of these sub-items, I guess. Your regular item is the punch and a kick. Now, what's really interesting about these little suckers up here is sometimes they take 2 hits, and sometimes they take 3 hits. Like that one took 2, but the one before it took 3, so who knows? So this is a part where like I got destroyed by this guy earlier, and I'm probably going to get destroyed by him again. But if you go backward, if you aren't planning for this, if you haven't played through the level before, you're not going to have planned for this, and you're going to get destroyed. Like, I didn't know what this little thing on the ground did the first time, so I stepped up to it and got, you know, beat by it. And that's fine because, you know, in the NES era, this is what we did. We just played the game. The game's like 2 hours long, probably, and we just knew that we were going to get destroyed by everything the first time through a level, and that was okay. But sometimes the game in Batman, things are unfair. Like, for example, you can't hit things when they're blinking. They have to start moving again before they start taking damage again. Well, that's all well and good, except for you can only press the button so fast. So sometimes you get lucky like that and it connects the hits, and then sometimes, like the second time there, it doesn't. Right there, I should have hit the guy again. So the hitboxes are very inconsistent. That bothers me more than anything in this game, is how inconsistent the hitboxes are. And even though the enemies can't get hit while they're blinking or whatever, Batman sure can. And not only that, but you can't attack while you're getting hit. So you just fall back. And so the enemies kind of play by different rules than Batman does. And so it makes it a lot more difficult for you to win as Batman. A couple of things I do like about this. I was never a big fan of the comic series or anything like that as a kid. But a couple things I do like about this, like right there, the hitbox should have gotten him, but it didn't. Luckily I have a heart right there. I do like the wall jump. I don't know of any games before this that use the wall jump, and the control of it is very good. It's very effective. It's sticky. I like that. There's a little bit of delay with the button pressing compared to some other games. So if I press the B button to punch, sometimes the punches don't go, or if I press select to pause the game, sometimes it just doesn't go in. I just pressed the select button 5 times before the pause came up. And I think that's a really big problem, is making sure that like the inputs are good. The jump seems to be fine. It just is more about the attack and the pause buttons. Start seems to work fine too. When I want to switch my items, I don't have a problem switching my items either to my sub items. But the platforming seems pretty good. The level design's nice. Color is good, so you know where Batman is. A lot of the old games that were really bad had too many clashing colors, and they really kept a good color palette for this. So I appreciate that. We're gonna go down here, and there's a ninja down here. And if you hit him fast enough, he won't attack you. And then through this doorway at the end is the level 1, World 1 boss. And he's actually pretty easy if you know where to stand. So if you stand right here with the bat discs or whatever the heck they are on, you just wait for him to dive down. As long as you avoid his fireballs, you're good to go. And the first time it took me 4 hits, but I think it just depends on how many times you get hit. So we got another picture of the Batmobile, and it's going to shoot a hole in this door, and we're in some kind of mechanical warehouse now. So a lot of the old games, you know, you had so many continues. Like Contra was really strict about lives and continues. You know, a lot of the old games were like that. This game is unlimited continues, which is great. You don't want to get stuck, by the way, down there in that green stuff. It just makes your inputs way worse. Could barely jump out of it, but you get unlimited continues, 3 lives per continue. You can't restart a stage where the boss is, but if you die on stage 2-1, it will start you at the beginning of 2-1. If you die on 2-2, it will start you at the beginning of 2-2. So it does start you on good places. But like I said in my intro, I watched my uncle play this game for hours and hours and hours and hours, and I've never seen him beat it. And when I was a kid, I remember playing this game, and I was like, this game is too hard for me as a kid. And I beat the original Mario at 3, and I was like, this game is too much. So the difficulty, from what I remember, is pretty difficult. Like, what am I supposed to do here? You're going to take damage. There's nothing you can do to get across there. And then once you turn orange, it's like you can't move for a little bit. So if you don't time it right, you're going to take 2 damage or 3 damage or 4 damage or how many ever damages it takes to get you to jump out of there. But like I said, I like the color palette they use. Everything's distinct. The sound is fine. Music hasn't annoyed me yet. I like the World 1 music more than the World 2 music, for what that's worth. But I think the random item drops, if you aren't careful about using your punches and kicks when you need to use your punches and kicks, and using your other weapons when you use your other weapons. You know, I have 99, but I'm being very careful about how I use mine. You just have to be very, very careful about that. But those little things that look kind of like Mausers with spikes on the top, I hate these things. They're definitely my least favorite of all the enemies. Ooh, I almost got hit there. So those are kind of my takes on the game. I haven't probably played or seen anyone play this game. Okay, well that didn't even turn orange, so you know, and my guy just disappeared there for a second instead of turning orange. I probably haven't played or seen anyone play this game in 25 years, to be honest. So this is where I got to when I did my original playthrough, just to see how the game controlled and so I could get some opinions about it. And I have no idea how you get over there without taking a couple of damage. I'm sure there's some way, otherwise it's a very poor level design. So, okay, go down there like that. Alright. So, most of the level design so far I think has been fair. See, that's unfair. Like, what am I supposed to do there? I'm just going to get crushed every time. Alright, so this one, the first world had 2 stages before the boss. This one has 3. But like I said, I have no idea how to get extra lives or if you can get extra lives. But the continues are unlimited, so it's the first time I've seen one of those, and I guess they drop them pretty fast. But I got through this door, so they're going to start me again at the beginning of 2-3, which is nice. Also, when you use your continues, you don't lose your how many ever batarangs or missiles or I'm just gonna keep calling them bat discs. I don't even know if you can kill this thing. It looks like you're making contact, but I've hit it a good 7 or 8 times and nothing's happening. So again, don't know what that bee does. That bee is just something that's in there for fun, as far as I'm concerned. It's like, oh, I'm getting B for Batman. It makes a noise. I just don't know what that noise is for. So you can see, just like a lot of the old NES games, there's just stuff that's going to be unfair. You just have to deal with it. And it's not because necessarily it's a bad game, because I don't think this is a bad game. I played it enough as a kid to remember like thinking it's not a bad game, but it has a lot of problems that kind of add up to make like an experience that can be sometimes volatile or it could make you angry. Like, it doesn't bother me that I don't know where I'm going right now. What does bother me is how some of the places, like, you can't go anywhere without like taking damage for sure. You're going to take damage, and that's just how it is. And I think that's a cheap way to get you to continue playing a game. See right there, they took 2 hits instead of, yeah, well, that wasn't good. They took 2 hits instead of 3. So you never know how many hits something's going to take, which can be frustrating, which is another way I'm just saying, like, the game is unfair to the player sometimes. It's like, oh, am I going to get hit? How many of these things are they going to drop? Are they going to continue dropping even though they're off screen? Like, I don't know. The game doesn't play by the same rules all the time. And that can be a real turnoff as a gamer. If the game changes rules in the middle of a level or, you know, whatever. So, like, you get stuck on those spikes. You shouldn't get stuck on those spikes as Batman. You should be able to keep moving, but you can't. That's kind of another, like I said, frustrating little thing that doesn't make any sense. It's like, when you get hit, you can't move your character. So you better just hope that, like, you have good reflexes for when your character is ready to be moved again. Oh. So I hit the little spikes up at the top, and that made me, it made me paralyzed. I'm going to use that word. But Batman gets paralyzed a lot in this game, which can be very super frustrating. Now, I don't think Batman should get paralyzed momentarily. Like, that part took me 3 of my, I got 2 back luckily, but it took 3 of my health bars just to get through that little part. And you only get 8. And when they're gone, so. And sometimes those little guys right there just fall out normally, and sometimes they shoot out like 50 at a time. I just want to get away from those guys as fast as I can. That's all I know. So I guess you just can't hit the button all the way on those. See, the second one died before the first one. You can just see how, like, when I said that it's not a fair hitbox, it just wasn't. I hit them both the same amount of times. Alright, this should be a boss, I imagine. And my guess is that no matter how many times I hit this thing, you can't have multiple hits at once, so I'm not actually sure what I'm even supposed to be hitting. All I know is I have one little tiny thing of life left, and that's going to be it. And I'm not sure if it starts you on the boss. Well, I know if you get game over, it doesn't. It just starts you back up here. But I'm not sure if you get game over, or if you just die on the boss, if you have to go through the level again or not. I know Ninja Gaiden is like really... the last level of Ninja Gaiden is really bad about like, oh, I worked all this time to get to this level, and not unlike every other level of the game, once you get to this level, you actually have to get to this level every time. So I think it's 7-1 and 7-2 or 7-2 and 7-3, and you literally have to get there every single time. You don't get to continue from the boss, even though it's the hardest level in the game. They don't care. So I'm not sure if that's how this Batman is or not. I know there are at least 4 worlds. I haven't looked up how many worlds there are, but I know there are at least 4 because I remember my uncle getting to the 4th world, and I thought he was like super, super good. Oh, see how my guy is just like getting paralyzed for fun. I think there was 6, if I remember correctly, but I don't want to say that and then be wrong. Got one more health bar. Maybe I can... one thing that's annoying too is when you change screens, like I just changed screens, if it shows a sub-weapon, it goes away. So you have to re-choose the sub-weapon. Okay, so I guess if you get to the boss at the end of the level and die, you do get to continue on the boss. You don't have to play through the level again. But if you lose all 3 of your lives, then you do. Oh, that thing just started shooting for fun. Oh, it has a big blowback on it. I don't know what to do here. Seems like no matter what I do, it's going to shoot me. I don't know. This must have been where I gave up as a kid, because I'm like, alright, this thing's shooting me, I don't know what to do. Like, it seems like it goes in a pattern, but then once you jump up there, it's like, no, we're not in a pattern anymore. See? Super fast. That's it for Batman. And now I don't have any of my weapons left, so I can only punch and kick. So let's punch and kick all these gadgets, because I guess that's what Batman would do. He didn't plan very well, this Batman guy here. This can't be Bruce Wayne, because Bruce Wayne has enough money that he would never run out, right? He would always have money, but I think that's, I played enough to show you kind of what this game was all about. But I hope you enjoyed this Super Sweet Sunday video this week, you know, for Halloween, doing the Batman. if you want to see anything else, my list is running kind of low now. I have a bunch of games ready coming up, but those games are they're all RPGs. People have asked me to do some RPGs, and the thing about it is yeah, I can do RPGs. It's just going to take me a really long time to get through them. And while I have the Breath of the Wild series going on, I don't want to start a new RPG. I might want to do that maybe in December or during Christmas holidays or something, but until then I don't do that. So anyway, if you're watching this and you want me to play something else, I'm going to soon put on my YouTube a PDF, or I'm going to try to find some way to put the PDF on Twitter or somewhere of all the games that I own, so you guys can check and see all of the games I own, so that you know, hey, Royal Syrup Gamer can play this, this, and this, or if you have something that is affordable, let me know. On my Twitter, Royal Syrup Gamer. On my YouTube, Royal Syrup Gamer. You can email me at royalsyrupgamer@gmail.com. Anything you want to play, as long as I can obtain it, and it's cheap enough for me, so I don't have to spend like $700 on a copy of Chrono Trigger or something. I do Switch, NES, SNES, GameCube, and N64. So just let me know what you want to see. I'm happy to play. Again, subscribe and like, and I really appreciate you guys tuning in to the Super Sweet Sunday video. Hey everybody, thanks for watching Royal Syrup Gamer's Super Sweet Sunday video today, where I played Batman the video game. If you missed my Super Sweet Sunday video for last week, I reviewed and played a whole hour of Fire Emblem Warriors for the Nintendo Switch. If you want to watch that video, you can click the link at the left side. And if you still need to subscribe to me, click my face in the bottom right hand corner. Thanks again for watching me, the Royal Syrup Gamer.